Welcome to this explainer. So today we're unpacking a truly fascinating piece of writing that literally flips our standard understanding of romance completely upside down. We usually think of romantic confidence as this magical trait, right? Like something you're either lucky enough to be born with or you just flat out don't have. But the source material we're exploring today, it argues something entirely different. It reveals how true romantic confidence is actually something you actively build, quietly but surely, through simple, physical, daily habits.
Okay, let's dive right into this by asking a pretty crucial question. When romance fails, or when we're just really struggling to connect with someone, why do we immediately assume our innate personality or our physical appearance is to blame? I mean, it's almost an automatic reflex, right? We look in the mirror and criticize our looks, or we look inward and blame our character. But the text suggests we're looking in the completely wrong place. The real areas we need to review are actually much closer to home. They're embedded right in our daily routines. Think about it. The way you wake up, how you eat, how you spend your time in the bath, even your posture when you speak. These mundane, everyday moments are actually deeply connected to romantic confidence.
So let's kick things off with Section 1, the trap of confidence.
To understand how to build this confidence, we first have to understand what happens when we lack it. A lot of people seeking romance hit this massive common wall, a profound lack of self-confidence, and it creates a really dangerous trap. If you rely on someone else to love you first, it's incredibly unstable. Think about it. If you try to date someone without loving yourself, you're entirely dependent on them liking you just to feel any self-worth. You're basically outsourcing your affection to someone else's mood. The text points out that the foundation of true romance is actually practicing self-love. Romance is the act of loving others, including yourself. So that very first, absolutely non-negotiable step to romantic success, it's practicing self-love.
Now, you might be wondering, well, what if two people who both lack confidence get together? The author addresses this directly. While two people with low self-esteem might feel an initial bond over their shared pain, and hey, there's definitely a temporary comfort in that, the text warns that this often just leads to, well, licking each other's wounds. It very rarely develops into a relationship where the two people actually elevate each other. Sharing pain isn't a bad thing, but if you stop there, you both just end up staying stuck in the exact same place together. If you truly want a successful relationship or marriage, you absolutely have to break this cycle.
Moving on to Section 2, the power of acting.
So how on earth do you practice self-love when you might, frankly, actively dislike yourself right now? Well, here's the secret. The mind gradually adapts to physical habits. You don't need to wait until you actually love yourself to start moving forward. Actually, scratch that. If you wait for that magical feeling to arrive before you try to love others, you're literally never going to take a single step. Instead, the author advises you to simply act like someone who loves themselves, even if it's a complete 100% performance. Because human psychology is fascinating. Your mind will eventually catch up to your body's habits. And the absolute best part? You don't have to do this in public. You just perform this self-love acting in the privacy of your own home where nobody is watching.
The text gives these fantastic, highly sensory examples of how to actually try this out. Step 1. When you wake up, even if you're feeling heavy and exhausted from a long work week, stretch in your bed just like the star of a morning drama. Throw your arms wide, stretch deeply, and physically act out a perfect, refreshing morning. Then, step 2 applies to your meals. Have you ever seen a TV commercial where an actor is sweating over a hot bowl of ochazuke soup, eating enthusiastically and saying, "hot, hot," while looking incredibly satisfied? The author recommends finding a character or a commercial actor you really resonate with and literally mimicking their gusto when you eat. By physically performing that joy and satisfaction, you start signaling to your brain that you are a person worth taking care of.
Okay, let's look at Section 3, Cleanliness from 1, Soap.
Now, maintaining physical cleanliness is, of course, fundamental to romance, but ironically, it often feels like a massive burden to those struggling with self-worth. Taking a bath or a shower can feel completely exhausting, especially if you lack energy or you just dislike your body. But cleanliness, managing body odor, and general hygiene is non-negotiable for building relationships. To overcome this hurdle, the author shares a deeply moving inspiration. They were watching footage of children in a poor village in a developing country, and these kids were treating a single shared bar of soap as this incredibly precious resource, washing meticulously and so carefully from the top of their heads to the tips of their toes. This completely shifted the author's entire perspective on bathing.
Inspired by that footage, the author suggests stripping away all those exhausting, multi-step skincare routines that make bathing feel like such a chore. Instead, simplify it and elevate your bath time. Just grab one high-quality bar of soap, maybe persimmon, milk, or charcoal, and use it for your whole body. And while you're doing this, bring back the acting. Appreciate the warmth of the hot water just like a character in a luxurious soap commercial who's slowly pouring hot water over their shoulder. By deeply focusing on the simple sensation of getting clean with one really good soap, you turn bathing from a stressful obligation into this luxurious, sensory experience of self-care. It literally becomes a time you actually look forward to.
And this philosophy of simplifying and honoring yourself applies beautifully to our overall look as well. The text points out a really common struggle, particularly for women, enduring the hassle of long hair simply because they feel it's some sort of societal ideal or an expectation for romance. Even if drying it every single night is a stressful, exhausting chore, the alternative here is having the courage to choose a short style that actually fits you. Letting go of an ideal isn't giving up on yourself. It's a super powerful act of daily self-care. It's all about choosing what is authentic and comfortable for you, which naturally reduces your stress and massively boosts your genuine confidence.
Which brings us to Section 4, Connecting Through Empathetic Conversation.
So once these private, daily physical habits have helped you build a quiet foundation of confidence, how does this actually translate into the real world? Well, when it comes time to converse with someone you like, the source advises a very specific mindset. If you've been practicing your daily habits, your baseline anxiety is going to be much lower. You don't need to force some dominant alpha persona, not at all. Instead, interact with the calm, imaginative assumption that you are already on the path to a relationship with them, that you are already dating and building a future together. You aren't acting out their ideal, you are embodying your own ideal version of yourself, interacting with real warmth and stability. This mindset completely changes your actual dialogue. Just imagine the person you like is talking about a trip to Universal Studios, right? A place you've maybe never been. If you're anxious and just trying to keep the conversation from dying, you might interrogate them for facts, saying something like, "Wow, do you really have to wait 3 hours for a ride?" But if you're coming from a place of empathy and connection, you align with their emotions instead. You say, "Oh wow, waiting must make you so excited to finally get on the ride." The text stresses this point. Fact-based questions keep a distance, but emotion-based empathy naturally closes the gap between you, regardless of your gender.
To summarize this whole conversational approach, the source gives us these clear, actionable steps. Maintain eye contact. Listen with genuine, heartfelt curiosity. Focus on emotional resonance rather than just grilling them for facts. But honestly, the most liberating point is the final one. Accept that your confident acting might slip. And you know what? That is completely okay. If an unexpected topic comes up and you get flustered, don't panic. If you just remind yourself, "I'm a person lacking confidence who is practicing," then a slight stumble won't shatter your world. You can just flexibly recover, knowing your deeper, growing confidence hasn't disappeared.
What this entire analysis really shows us is that confidence isn't a prerequisite for love. It is the beautiful, quiet result of these tiny daily performances. From how you stretch in bed, to how you enjoy your meals, to how you wash with a single bar of soap. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought to carry into your day. Tomorrow morning, when you first wake up, which scene are you going to choose to act out first?